the roof, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.
What's going on? What's going on, man? We live from the boxing section, man. What's going on, y'all? Listen, I got a very, very special guest, man. Listen, this is one of the coolest cats, one of the best announcers that we have in the game of boxing, or period. Every time you watch Top Rank, you see this guy. He's a great guy, business owner. He has a great club in Vegas. We'll let him get into all that. But if you ever heard the great saying, in the words of the great philosopher, Mark Shunock, this is boxing. This is Top Rank, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate you for coming on.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Man, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, listen, this is a treat for me, man. Thank you.
Man, we in New York, we had a great time in New York meeting you and things like that, man. And we got into your story a little bit, but I kind of want people to understand, like, all the things that you've done before getting into boxing and the things that you're doing after boxing. We talked for about, I think, maybe like 30 minutes, man. And I kind of want people to hear that same conversation because, you know, a lot of times people just see you on TV and they don't know the journey. They kind of just see the destination. So I want you to just take us through the journey of Mark Shunock and then let us know exactly what you got going on now and the things you got coming ahead. So without further ado, we'll let you talk and so tell us where you're from and things like that.
Yeah, it was great spending time with you in New York. It's always a treat when we get to invade the Garden, and we were there for back-to-back weeks. So I was able to be in the city for 2 weeks, and it was exciting. Listen, you know, we were able to just hang out in that Stewart Hotel lobby, and it becomes a scene after the fights, right? And it's our boxing community hanging out, and it's just such a convenient hotel, obviously right across the street from the Garden. So. But yeah, man, I grew up in a small town in Canada, 5 hours north of Detroit, Michigan, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And there's about 75,000 people there and pretty isolated right on Lake Superior. And like any kid growing up in Canada, hockey was my first passion. I wanted to play hockey. I wanted to raise the Stanley Cup and do all that stuff. But, you know, that wasn't in the cards. And I actually moved to New York City early in my my young life. I think I was there when I was 20 years old, and I started doing Broadway shows. So I became, just threw myself in the theater world, studied wherever I could, learned from the best acting teachers, coaches, and I spent almost 9 years in Manhattan just doing Broadway gigs and off-Broadway gigs and getting really good at subletting my apartment. That's sort of the thing as an actor living in the city. And it was a show called Rock of Ages that eventually brought me to Las Vegas. And I was doing that show at the Venetian. And at first I thought, I'm going to go out to Vegas for 6 months to a year. And then I'll end up going back to New York or back to LA, wherever, to find the next gig. But I fell in love with Las Vegas. And my transition into sports happened pretty quickly. Bill Foley, the owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, announced that he wanted to pursue bringing a professional hockey team to Las Vegas. And while I was doing the show at the Venetian, I literally called his office and I said, hey, I'm from Canada. I love hockey. How can I help? And the rest is history. I became a host for the Vegas Golden Knights. And then Todd DeBoeuf and Brad Jacobs and the entire Top Rank team came to a game because their offices are based in Vegas. And they were like, who the heck is that guy? And they called me. I was actually on vacation with my wife and some friends, and I took a call from Brad Jacobs, who's the best in the business. And he said, hey, you want to come and work for Top Rank? And I said, absolutely. And, here we go. You know, I'm a host for the Las Vegas Raiders, the Vegas Golden Knights, but my bread and butter and my passion is with ESPN and Top Rank Boxing and this incredible boxing community. I think I've been with Top Rank now almost 4 years, and it's the greatest. I wouldn't change it for the world. So that's kind of the backstory, a little bit of how I got here. You know, I could spend hours talking about time in New York and time in LA, but you know, my time with Top Rank is really special. It's near and dear to me. There's an incredible family there, and you know, I'm very humbled and privileged to be able to do what I do. You know, it's a dream job, and I don't take it for granted. And you know, being able to come out of a fight at the end of the night and say hi to everybody, and then like I said, how we met in New York at the hotel, just hanging out with everybody. Those are special moments, and I really don't take them for granted. So, you know, thanks for having me on and being able to talk a little bit.
No, most definitely. So we gotta dig a little bit though, because people don't understand how hard Broadway is. They don't understand you have to come with it every night. It's not like a movie where they cut and it's like they let you get your bearings, you get to try it again. Broadway, it's one take, Jake. You got to be on point every time. Like, you know, I did some acting in high school. You know what I mean? And that was hard. So just imagine being on that scale of like Broadway in New York. You know what I'm saying? That scene. Talk about the preparation.
Yeah, you know, it's like anything else, man. The work ethic, the discipline that goes into it, it's got to be there. You know, that's a testament to my family. I'm the youngest of 5. I've got older siblings that are all very successful. My parents are incredible people, and it didn't really matter what I got into. You know, there was a discipline and a dedication to the craft. And, you know, it is a different beast from film and television. Still, film and TV is a ton of work as well. But once that show starts, it's moving. And like you said, there's no stopping unless something crazy goes wrong technically or things like that. But, you know, it was such a joy to be able to, you know, spend 10 years ripping scripts apart and learning songs. I was a part of 2 really big shows. The biggest one, obviously, was The Lion King. You know, I was a part of that show for 2.5 years. And, you know, just being around that quality of people, they're great people. And like you said, they bring it, you know, so you got to step up your game. You don't want to be the weakest link. The Lion King, I think there was like over 50 of us in the cast. Rock of Ages, when we came out here to Vegas, I think there was 20 or 25 of us in the cast. And there is a kind of a parallel to sports where, you know, you're getting ready for a show, and in the dressing room, it's not a locker room, but you know, you become a family with your castmates, and you know everything about them, their families, where they're from, and you know you're sharing that stage with them for 2 hours a night, and it's no different than really getting ready for a game. And you know, I realized that pretty quickly because I spent 20 years playing hockey, and then moving into a dressing room with a bunch of actors, and then walking out on stage. You become a pretty tight-knit group. And like I said, it's been a journey, you know, getting to this point. You have your ups and downs, like any career. There's no guarantees in the entertainment world. Same with sports. You know, you go to school to become a lawyer, you practice law. You go to school to become a doctor or an engineer or a nurse, whatever. You finish school and you go and do that craft or that profession. When you graduate college with an arts degree, there's no guarantees that somebody's giving you a part in a movie or a TV commercial or a play or a musical. It's a journey. And I think that that dedication, or that really that word, what's that word that I want? That's the word. Yeah, you got it. You know, that stuck with me. And you know, I just never gave up and wanted to just have a career. I always, you know, I tell my wife a lot, I just want to work. I want to surround myself with great people and just be working. And so, you know, I think just that dedication, that passion, that drive, it stuck with me. And, you know, I'm just blessed to be able to now work full-time in sports and, you know, hang out with guys like yourself at fights. You know, I think anybody who works in sports will say, and you've heard it probably a million times, if you work in sports, it's really not a job. No. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of preparation that goes into what we do. That goes without saying, but it's a lot of fun. And the people who are there with you along the way to help you and support you, when you're lucky enough to work with a company like Top Rank, it makes it a little easier, actually a lot easier, but a whole lot of fun.
Okay, so coming from a small town, how did you say, you know what, I'm gonna bet on myself? So you played sports, but how did you get into the acting? What made you say, I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna go to New York? What was the mindset?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the $1 million question, right? I get that a lot. People always ask, they're like, how'd you end up from small town in Canada to New York City into LA into Vegas? And, I really don't have the answer. I just knew that I was, when the hockey days were over, I wanted to do something that was just different and unique. And as a kid, my mom and dad, they sent me to piano lessons and singing lessons like many other families do. And I was that goofy hockey player, man. I was on the bus acting up, acting the fool. Coach always telling me to shut up and sit down. And, I just knew that I wanted to do something different. And in my town, there was a couple of students ahead of me that went on to pursue careers in the arts. And I think they really led the way for me because I really didn't have the knowledge of, these big schools like NYU or Juilliard or, Carnegie Mellon and all these great Yale. We didn't know, like those aren't household names in Canada, especially in a small town, right? We didn't know those schools as kids. And having a couple people ahead of me sort of venture off out of this little community and go and pursue a career in the arts was sort of something that gave me an opportunity, or at least opened my eyes to what was out there. And, I think that's what kind of started it. And then I just, it's timing, as you know, in life is timing and being in the right place at the right time. And I just really worked hard to get it. I knew it was something that I wanted. And, you hear that adage, if you really want something, you go after it and you commit yourself and dedicate yourself to it, you'll get it. I believe that, and obviously I had the support of an incredible family and friends. And so, but that's kind of it, man. I wanted to play hockey. And when those days ended, I knew I wanted to do something that was unique and different. And I didn't really have that path where you see people, they graduate school and they go and get a gig and they become famous overnight. That wasn't my path. It's still, it's just this up and down journey that I tackle every day. I don't know what's going on Wednesday, but I'm lucky that, like I said, I'm surrounded by a good group of folks and just, blessed to be doing what I'm doing.
So what's the, on a nightly bet, when you go to a fight, what's the preparation and how do you get these names right?
Yeah, it usually starts the week well in advance of, fight night or whatever. I start working on the card usually about a week prior. Sometimes the card changes a little bit, as crazy things happen in this sport and fighters drop out last minute. But I host the press conference. That's my first responsibility with Top Rank. That usually happens on a Thursday night, and that's always the main event, usually the co-main, and then sometimes we have special guests. So my first thing that I always do is I check out who's in the press conference. Obviously that's the main event, who our special guests are, and then I do a deep dive into those guys. The weigh-ins are pretty straightforward, but that's when the names come into play and nicknames and divisions and weights. All that stuff is, I just make sure that, again, this is their moment. This really is, it's their moment. So you don't want to butcher anything, right? So you got to do the work. You got to find out how to pronounce their names, what their nickname is, where they're from, how they want to be introduced, because it's really about them at that moment. And then fight night for me is a little different. And, I like to, just be over the top prepared. So if you ever see me ringside, I got a stack of cards, and all those fights are already broken down, fight one right through to the main event. And it's pretty dialed in. It's their hometowns, it's their weights, it's the color of their shorts. It's, any nicknames that they could possibly want, who they're representing, things like that. I just try to be over the top prepared. So that way, when surprises happen, which they do in this sport, some weird stuff happens all the time, I'm ready. And I have a great relationship. Most of our fights happen either in New York, California, or Nevada. And I've developed some pretty cool relationships with the commission, because I have to get the results from those guys. So, you always want to stay on their good side. You don't want to be proud peeping over their shoulder too soon, or a lot of guys like to stand in the ring and just reach down and get the results and pick them up. I wait to get the results. I go over to the table, I stand with them, wait for the scores to be tallied, wait for the results. I have a moment or two with them, and then I take that and I go into the ring myself, just so that, the last thing I want to do is announce something incorrectly. And so I just, I think it goes back to my days as a performer, where I was just, meticulous with my scripts and doing the preparation that would go into creating a character for a film or a play. No different here, but this isn't about the ring announcer per se. It's about these fighters, and they're risking their lives to walk in that ring. So the last thing I want to do is screw it up for them, because this is their moment. And so the more prepared, the more information and knowledge I have, the better. And let me just say before we go on, I'm spoiled because I get to work with Mark Kriegel, Bernardo Osuna, Christina Poncher, Joe Tessitore, Andre Ward, and Timothy Bradley Jr. So when you're surrounded by those guys on a week-to-week basis with Top Rank Boxing, it's literally walking encyclopedias, and you just have to be a fly on the wall and listen. I've been so privileged to learn from those guys for the last 4 seasons or 4 years that, like I said, kid in a candy store and absolutely spoiled.
Man, that's an amazing thing. So what was the first fight you announced? What was the exact match? Do you remember?
I believe it or not, I don't remember, because I was kind of thrown to the wolves. And it was I was hosting press conferences and weigh-ins for Top Rank first. And then when the pandemic struck, Top Rank was the first sort of pro sports group to make a bubble or create a safe environment to continue producing fights. And so we were at MGM Grand. They created a bubble where it was just this part in the convention center where you weren't allowed to have access unless you were, tested every day, and you couldn't go or leave and come and go kind of thing. So, and because I live in Vegas, Brad called and said, "Hey, look, we're going to put you in the ring. You're going to be our ring announcer." And I was like, "What? Oh, okay." So I just went with it. And, I think looking back on it, the bubble and the pandemic was probably the best thing that could have happened for me for my boxing career, because Top Rank decided to do fights every Tuesday and every Thursday for 6 months. And so we were doing 5 fights, 6 fights every Tuesday and every Thursday. So I got a lot of reps right away. Like, I got more fights under my belt than I think most ring announcers do in probably 3 years in those 5-6 months, 4 months. I don't even remember how long it was, but I was living at MGM Grand with our ESPN and Top Rank team. And we were literally doing 5 fights, 6 fights on Tuesdays, and we do it again on Thursdays. So there wasn't really any time to think about it. You just went with it. And we were working like crazy. And I do have to give a special mention to Evan Korn at Top Rank Boxing, because he is again, a walking encyclopedia and so great at his job. And he knew what I was up against and what the nerves and sort of the concerns that I had. I was like, "Hey man, look, I'm new to this. I can host an event. I can interview somebody. I can host a weigh-in." I said, "But this is my first stab at ring announcing. So I'm going to need you to hold my hand in a sense and make sure that I'm not messing this up." And he was fantastic. And to this day, we still have a great relationship working together, but it's not one fight per se. It was sort of all of the craziness of the pandemic, going into a bubble at MGM Grand, and then just getting thrown to the wolves. And, I didn't even go in the ring for the first 5-6 weeks, because they created like a little platform for me outside of the ring, because we were all separate. Like, lighting was over there, ring announcers over there, the commissions over here, and we were all sort of social distancing. We had to wear masks. There was cleaning crews everywhere. It was such a surreal and wild time that, I'm going to have to go back and look at who the first fight was that I called, because I don't remember. It was an insane time. And again, I look back at that time going, man, what Top Rank was able to pull off was pretty incredible.
Well, you got until August 13th, because that's when I'll see you again. I'll be at that Teofimo Lopez fight.
Hey, that's going to be a great fight. Tio's back, and I know he's excited to get in there. And Resorts World, such a great property, you know, brand new resort here in Vegas. And, you know, Top Rank's developed a great relationship with everybody at Resorts World. It's a cool place to have a fight. And I think it's going to be the perfect spot for Tio to make his comeback.
Man, yeah. I'm good friends with Troy Isley. So anytime he fights, I try to go to all his fights. So that's why I was in New York. I was really in New York for him.
Don't tell everybody that, man. You're gonna make all the other fighters upset.
That's what, you know, because he's a friend of the program, so he always comes on. So anytime somebody comes on my channel, I try to, like, anytime they fight, if I can make it, I'm trying to make it. So the bubble kind of changed everything. So
yeah, it certainly threw me into the boxing world more than I already was, you know, and like a big tip of the cap to everybody at ESPN and Top Rank, because what they were able to accomplish and pull off and keep the sport going. Don't forget, man, everything stopped, right? So ESPN needed programming. There wasn't a lot of sports on TV at that time. So to be able to fill content for the network and put on fights every Tuesday and Thursday, I think that helped the sport a lot. You know, it put boxing back at the forefront, in front of a lot of people's eyes who not necessarily would tune into a boxing fight, but because by default we were on and people started watching. And I think a lot of our young fighters and the sport itself grew, and a lot of fans came out of it. And, you know, I see it now. I see it on my social media. I see it, you know, online. You see what's going on with the sport of boxing right now. It is hot. It's great. And I'm just, like I said, kid in a candy store, honored to be a part of it.
No, man, most definitely. But you were a natural, though. Because if that was your first time, like, doing that, nobody could tell. You know what I'm saying? It was like no sweat. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see you sweat at all. And
I appreciate that. I was sweating. I was shaking. But if you didn't see it, that's good.
So how'd you come up with the this is boxing, this is Top Rank?
You know, I it's not mine. I got to be honest. It was a slogan that Top Rank used a while ago. And when I was in the office, I saw it on an old T-shirt in a closet, you know, in the big storage room at Top Rank. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And they used to announce, you know, this fight is brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated, Bob Arum, something along those lines. And I loved the fact that, you know, we're at a boxing fight. And so I tried to find a good rhythm with the delivery, and it just sort of stuck, and everybody at Top Rank liked it. And so it was just a way to emphasize Top Rank boxing a little bit more. You know, this is boxing, this is Top Rank, and this is the main event, or, you know, but I do it before every fight. And I think it really sets the stage. Fighters know that their introductions are right around the corner. I've got a good rhythm now with our lighting team at Top Rank. So if you ever see the main event, we're pretty much in cahoots now, where, you know, I know when the lights are going out. I know when that whole room's going to turn blue. I know when it's turning red. They're following me, and we're starting to find a nice rhythm. And again, listen, I'm no Michael Buffer. I'm no Bruce Buffer. Those guys are the GOATs. And
Mark, no, we ain't. Nope, we ain't late. Nah. Not over here. We gonna give you your flowers. Listen, let's be honest. I got to give it to you. Listen, you've only been doing, like, so since 2020. You've been, like, doing the announcing.
Yeah, just started. You know, so like I said, I got a lot to learn. And
no, I'm just saying. So just imagine. So just imagine. All right, look how great you are with just this amount of time. Like, we're gonna Google how long it took Michael Buffer to do Let's Get Ready to Rumble. And really, he's the only one that has, like, the saying like that. That this is boxing, this is Top Rank. That's probably that draws everybody in. So we got to give you your flowers, man. Like,
all right, I'll take it. I gotta be transparent. That wasn't my saying. I just brought it back to life. It was a Top Rank thing that they had cooking, and I put my spin on it. And I thought I think it works in the ring. I think it's a cool way to welcome people into the fight.
No, you can't come.
So you got a party going on out there. Bring them into the show. Bring them in.
That's my 100 kids.
Hey man, I gotta give you props. I got a plain wall behind me, and your place is perfect. I want to know about what you got going on behind you there, man. I get every time I do a Zoom or an interview, people always like, Mark, you gonna hang shit up on your wall? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually. I got no time, but your room, man, your office is perfect. You got some signed gloves back there,
man. I got so this lane right here. These are my goats. So the Holy Grail is up top. That's Muhammad Ali. Nice. You got Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, Roy Jones, and then Sugar Ray Leonard. And then awesome. I got some custom Louis Vuitton gloves that one of the guys made for me. And then I got Tommy Hearn, Roberto Duran. I got Mike Tyson, Errol Spence. I mean, So then I got Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I got Muhammad Ali versus with Malcolm X, and I got Muhammad Ali everywhere, man. That's like my favorite fighter of all time.
Have you been able to see his grandson in a fight yet? Have you seen Nico on a card?
Oh yeah. I tell people, man, he's getting better. He's getting better and better.
Yeah, that's all you can do, man. That's all you ask, right? Is just improve every time out. Just get a little better.
Yeah, man. So if you had the Al Heyman, Bob Arum money, and you can get 5 fighters right now to promote, who would you take?
Oh man, that's a great question. You know, I'm a big fan of Bud Crawford. I think he's probably on my top pound for pound list. And I'm obviously biased to our top ranked camp. I think Lomachenko is unbelievably fast and his feet are incredible. Xander Zayas, I think, is going to be someone to reckon with for a long time. And then Shakur Stevenson. I think those are my guys.
You got one more.
Was that not 5? Who did I say? I said Bud. I said did I say Teofimo? I think I'd bring Teofimo into the mix, but Bud, Shakur, Xander. I just love the sport so much. And it's not so much what happens when the bell rings. I've just been so blown away by getting to know these guys personally and their stories and meeting their families and the fact that they risk their lives, for this sport, I think is what makes it so special and so different from everything else. They're just one of a kind, right? And they're in there by themselves, and it's such a mental game too. You gotta be in such a great place mentally to execute on all of the things you've trained for. And I think the biggest thing for me is just being around those guys and learning about them and meeting their families and going on the journey with them. That's been the special thing for me. It's hard to pick 5 guys though that I would want to promote, but I know that Loma and Bud would be up there, Shakur for sure, Xander Zayas. And if I got to pick a 5th one, there's another kid that I love, Bam Rodriguez. I think that kid's going to be a world champ as well. He's pretty special.
Okay, that's a great list. Great list.
I don't know. And listen, they're all great. We got Floyd Diaz in Vegas who's coming up. That's another thing too. A lot of times, the common fan just sees them when they're already, 30-1 or 30-0, and they're already a champ. Having the ability to watch these kids and young men and women when they're 3-0, 7-0, 10-0, and then you start to see them turn a corner and really become that elite athlete. That's when that journey and that relationship becomes even more special, right? And I'm starting to see now why guys work in the sport so long as either trainers, managers, hosts, because you develop amazing relationships with these guys, and you follow their careers, and you want nothing but the best for them. And I think that's what makes boxing so special. It's just, learning about these guys and watching them go on their journey. And, Mark Kriegel from ESPN, if you don't follow Mark on social and watch his reporting and his stories that he does on these fighters every other week, it's a miss. So make sure you're following him, because you can learn so much from what he uncovers with all these fighters. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, my first documentary, I took a lot of like how he kind of does his thing a little bit. So man, it's way harder. It's way harder than what people think to do the stories and stuff. How he does them, man, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So we got this we got a game on my channel that we do. We got a few of them. So you got an opening bout, you got a co-main, and then you have a main event. Now you could take a fighter from way back then versus a fighter right now, or you could take two fighters from right now versus each other, or you could do two fighters from way back then to fight each other. Like fights that never happened, a fantasy fight that you would want to see. You got your opening bout, your co-main, and then your main event.
Those would all be main events. I would like to see, wouldn't it be cool to see like a Lomachenko-Pacquiao fight when they were both in their prime? I think that'd be a cool fight. If we could go old school, man, I would love to see, Mike Tyson, and, like even Tyson Fury. I know they're like opposite ends of the spectrum, but I don't know that. I don't know. We talk about Tyson Fury all the time being named after Mike, and I'd like to see those heavyweights go at it. Even Muhammad Ali and Tyson Fury, like, come on, those guys are just two big tanks in there swinging. That would be unbelievable. And who else? I got one more for you. Let's see. Any fighter, any generation. Yeah, I think Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury, that'd be great. What about Boom Boom Mancini? Like, who would you like to see that guy fight, man? Shit. I don't know. Boom Boom Mancini. I love watching his old fights. Who would I like to see him fight right now? I don't know. Maybe Canelo and Boom Boom. Who knows, dude? I love when people make these things up, because like it just brings out just the best in the sport, right? People just love. I love the chirping on Twitter too, when people talk about who they love, who they hate. But yeah, I think Boom Boom and Canelo would be hilarious. It'd be a great fight. Pacquiao and Loma, I think, would be a killer fight. And Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury, I think that'd be a battle of the Titans, because they're both two giant dudes, but they move, man. They're just so great. They're so great. So, how's that? Did I do all right?
That was cool. Okay, so so now we got something called versus. Okay, so we take like two fighters versus each other. Now, these are some hard ones. So this is the last go around for these fighters. I gotta do it. I gotta revamp it. So you're gonna have the last of these. So we're gonna start it off nice and hard.
Oh wow. Do I have to pick one?
You gotta pick the winner.
Oh, come on. Well, you know who I'm picking. I'm taking Ward.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Look out. You're putting me on the spot now. I'm going to get in trouble.
Man. Most definitely. Let me see. I don't want to go there again. I'm going to go here first. On the spot. I'm going to make this one hard for you.
It's not even hard. That's not even hard. I'm going with the pink gloves all day long.
Okay.
He's my GOAT.
Most definitely. I got
Yeah,
you. I feel you.
but I'm gonna get beat up online for that one. I think everybody on social and the chat room is like shaking their head. But
No,
I think Bud is a beast.
you'll be surprised. A lot of people pick Crawford that come on here. Most of them pick Crawford. Most of them
That's
pick
good.
Crawford.
That's good. And I think it's also a modern day fan too, right? Like we've seen him more. But yeah, I think he's a beast.
So now we're gonna go. Let me see. All right, we'll go. We'll go here.
Mm. All right, I live in Vegas, so I have to say Floyd. Otherwise, I'm getting pulled over at a stoplight, and somebody's gonna beat the crap out of me.
I'm gonna make this one's gonna be a little harder though.
All right.
Same. One of the fighters
I'm
are the
getting
same.
nervous now already, making me. Can I pick a draw?
You can. You can.
Man, that would be lightning in a bottle right there.
Man.
Yeah, that'd be lightning in a bottle. Those hands on both of those guys are unreal.
And now we do performances. I gotta redo these performances, but this is like the one I'm about to show you. This is like one. These are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
So you got Gotti versus Mayweather versus Corrales.
I think the Gotti fight got a lot more attention, but I think his performance was better in the Corrales fight.
Okay.
You know, just because it was the yeah. But again, GOAT, right? I can't argue with his some people don't like the way he fights, but listen, we have a saying in hockey. It's the stupidest saying in hockey. If they don't score, we can't lose, right? It sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. If they don't score, you can't lose. If you don't get hit, you're not going to lose a fight. And Mayweather was the best at not getting hit.
Yeah, all right, we got Bernard Hopkins.
That Trinidad fight, Hopkins Trinidad fight was pretty special, you know. Yeah, I'm going there. Better performance on the Hopkins Trinidad fight.
Okay.
I like all these things, man. Look, you got all these split screens and graphics popping up all over. I'm like, this is cool.
I got a lot more to do though. I gotta because I work so much. I work like 16-hour days, and then sometimes on Sundays I do like 22 hours. So I do 16 at my regular job, and then I do like a 6 at the nightclub.
Yeah.
So this is the last. So it's the last of the performances.
All right
here. And this is gonna be hard for you. I'm telling you. This one is difficult. So I'm gonna actually keep this one. This is the one this is one of them that I'm gonna keep.
Bro. Yeah. How do you pick one, right? I think we use both of these fights, just so you know. I think both of these are in our top rank hype video before every main event. I know Hagler Hearns is in there. I'm almost positive it's in there, and I'm pretty sure Leonard Duran's in there as well. Man, better performance. Oh, I'm gonna go Hagler Hearns.
Okay, I got you. Hey, a lot of people picked that one. A lot of people picked that fight. So you're not in the class by yourself on that one. So let's go,
tough, bro. That is tough.
I try to make them as tough as possible. We're gonna go through some questions, and then ask some people on to ask you some questions.
We got people in the chat room.
Oh yeah. So let me see what we got. Okay. So this is Sweet Science Examiner. Have you had the opportunity to build with Devin Haney yet?
No, I haven't. You know, obviously the fight was in Australia, and he came on to Top Rank, you know, right before that, you know, obviously for that fight. I did get to watch him spar in the gym with his camp leading up to the fight. but really haven't had any one-on-one time with him. I think I will be going to Australia for the rematch if it happens. So I'm looking forward to that. But haven't had any time, just sort of been on the outside looking in, like I said, at the gym, and great family, great kid.
Absolutely. Who are some of your favorite prospects to look out for?
Xander Zayas on the top of my list there. Bam Rodriguez, who's no longer with Top Rank. I don't think he's a Top Rank fighter anymore. I love Bam. You know, I'm a big fan of Chop out here in Vegas. You know, our car dealership, Chop, car dealer man, and he's a big fan of Floyd Diaz. And we just had Floyd, and every time he's out, he's putting on a show. So I think Floyd's someone to watch for. But I'm gonna just stick with Bam Rodriguez and Xander Zayas. I think they're world champs, not too distant future.
I think Troy Izzy is the sleeper of out of all the new prospects and Olympians. I think he's the sleeper.
Listen, I could sit here and talk about 10 young fighters that I've had the privilege of introducing for Top Rank. You know, and it's kind of that question like, hey, tell me a joke. You know, you got to be like, who are we thinking of? And honestly, we've got such a young core of incredible up and coming fighters. Davis, Keyshawn Davis, you know, another one. It just, you can go on and on. But I think that that wow factor for me and being able to witness the growth of Xander over the last couple of years quickly, you know, he's just, he's something special. And, you know, every time he fights, he puts on a show and he shows up. So
great person too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without question. And a great team behind him. Right. You've got a great manager and great team behind him. So
I was at the Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring fight. And after his fight, he takes his shoes off, gives them to a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like right in the middle, just like stops everything. You know how like they're trying to get you to the locker room fast, trying to move everybody. And he just stopped, took his shoes off, and gave them to a young kid. And after that,
That says it all.
I never root against him. He got a fan of me forever after that, because you know, because that was one of his longer fights. So it was a longer fight too. Yeah. So for him to stop before before he gets to the locker room, take his shoes off, give him to that kid was amazing. Yeah. And you never know what that'll do for a child at that age, that he might become like one of the best boxers ever just off of that experience. So that I say, man, you got a fan of me forever for that.
Yeah, you know, you got to understand that you know, the fans are boxing fans are special, man, and I think fighters know that. They understand that you know, you got to spend time there. You can't ignore your fan base. You got to go above and beyond sometimes, and I think that's a testament to Top Rank as well. You know, the Top Rank encourages that. You know, Top Rank does a great job of making sure that you know, their fans who buy tickets and come out to their fights are taken care of. And you know, I tend to think I play a small part in that, in helping with the environment at a fight. You know, because sometimes fights can be boring. You know, somebody gets knocked out in the first round, and you're sitting around waiting for 30 minutes for the next fight to start. And we're trying to do things a little differently at Top Rank when you come to one of our live events. You know, there's a lot of games and interviews happening, and you know, going around doing giveaways and prizes. And I think our fighters enjoy that as well, so that the environment's a little bit more exciting than other places.
Definitely. Every time I go to the Top Rank, man, I have a good time. All right, we got one more question. Do you think Oscar Valdez Navarrete is going to happen? And do you think it'll be the modern day Eric Morales versus Antonio Barrera?
I think it's going to happen. You know, those guys are warriors, right? You know, you can go on and on about the careers that they've had to date, and they're not. I feel like I'm an old guy, right? So when I look at these guys, I'm like, the careers that they've had already, and they're still fairly young guys. It definitely is going to be a battle. I think it's going to happen. It's right for the sport, right? And they're both top ranked guys, so it should happen. I hope. Fingers crossed.
I am a Neverete fan for sure.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite young fighters.
Yeah, I love both of those guys, and that's that's always a tough thing for us at Top Rank, and you even hear Bob talk about it a lot. Like sometimes he doesn't even like to go to press conferences when it's a main event or a battle between two Top Rank fighters because he doesn't want anybody to lose. He's invested so much, and the Top Rank's got a pretty tight family, and it's tough when top ranked fighters fight each other. It's never an easy time for the staff, but it's part of the business, and you just want the best for everybody, and at the end of the day somebody's got to lose. But I think that's going to be an absolute battle. To what extent, I don't know, but it'll be a brawl.
Man, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now we got Las Vegas Leon over here. He's over here trying to put out top secret information. It's top secret, Leon. It's top secret.
What is the next update for the space? Well, the space is my little passion project, so thank you for bringing that up. For those of you who don't know, the space is a venue that I have right off the strip behind the Aria and the Cosmopolitan, and we do a lot of charity work for our community there. I host a really fun night on Mondays called Monday's Dark. It's every other Monday. It's not today. It's next Monday. And we give away $10,000 to a different local charity every other Monday. And, I'm a big believer in making sure that you take care of the community and where you live and work. And Monday's Dark's been around now for 8 years. I've been in Vegas almost 10. And every other Monday, I throw a party. You never know who's going to show up. And in 90 minutes, we raised $10,000 for a different local charity. And I've done about 150 of these parties. So about $1.5 million. Yeah, $1.5 million raised for Vegas. And it's a different charity every time. So we don't repeat because there's a lot of deserving people in Vegas, a lot of deserving organizations. And so every other Monday, I throw a party and we give a check to 10 grand to a different local charity. It's called Monday's Dark. That's the name of the event. You can follow it on social or just mondaysdark.com. It's a pretty cool thing that we do. And I'll continue to do it as long as charities want help. And Vegas is a special place. It's been very good to my family and I. And so we'll continue doing the kind of work we're doing. So thank you for bringing that up.
No, he was talking about, Mark. He was talking about our conversation in New York. That's why I said it's top secret.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, listen, a lot of my friends from New York, fellow performers, entertainers, they know about it. They come out and support it. And, Monday's Dark wouldn't be what it is without the support of all the entertainers and performers in town. So it's a pretty tight-knit community out here and special place to live and call home. So it's important that we give back and help those in need.
For sure. We got somebody coming on named Mex. He's going to ask you a couple questions. And then we're going to let you get out of here because it's been almost an hour.
I appreciate it, man. It's been great.
I appreciate you, man. Listen, August 13th, it should be about 10 of us at the fight. So it's going to be for a good time.
We're hanging out. Just hit me up. I'll be there. You know it.
For sure. Viva la. What's going on, man?
Oh,
yo.
Hey.
What's good?
What's going on, man?
Man, first of all, I want to say it's a pleasure being in the house with two top-level announcers. You didn't know, Kyle began his announcing on too. You try to keep it on the hush. But he's on video with a mic in his hand getting the crowd ready to go too. So you may get some tips.
I better see you on the 13th. You going to be there?
This motherfucker convinced me to come out my first Vegas trip, first fight. So, yeah, I'm popping my cherry out there with these guys.
Yeah, it'll be a great time. Resorts World puts on a good show. It's not a ton of people in that venue, so it's intimate. It gets loud, and we're going to have some good scraps that night for sure.
I'm going to be out there, man. I'm going to be out there. Yeah, I did have some questions I was writing down. You guys did your interview. One thing I was wondering is how do you prep your voice before the event?
I'm in the shower warming up, doing all sorts of weird noises. I can't do them here on this interview because people would hang up right away. But it's like anything else. It's a muscle, right? So you gotta warm it up and support it. A lot of breathing exercises, making sure you're not, screaming like an idiot at a nightclub. It's all supported breathing. And like anything else, you just warm up. And actually, after you're done, you take it easy too. Not going crazy after the fights. I like to go out, have a bite to eat, and relax. And the key is sleep. Just like anything else, I try to make sure I get a good night's sleep before the fights. And it's awesome because it gets so loud in some of these venues that you can't really focus on the crowd getting loud. You just focus on your job, your task at hand. But yeah, warming up the voice is important.
Have you ever came close to losing it for any event?
No, don't even say that. Knock on wood.
Oh, okay. Oh shit.
No.
And you was talking about nicknames of fighters. Has there ever been a nickname that a fighter has given you and you're like, bruh, I'm not saying that one. You guys come up with another nickname.
No.
Not yet? Okay.
No. I'll give them a little eye roll every now and then. I'm like, legit, for real? Okay. But that's not my thing, right? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. My job is to make them have their moment. It's not about the ring announcer. It's about the fighter. And if the fans are paying attention to me in a way that isn't about the fighter, I'm not doing my job right. It's about the fighter in that moment and giving him the props that he deserves. Cause he's like I said, he's walking into the ring, risking his life. The last thing you want to do is mess up an introduction for him because it's about to go down, and whatever he wants, he's getting.
All right. And that kind of segues into my next question. You said, people paying attention to you and not the fighter. So you don't have any plans in the future to do like the Bruce Buffer where you're wearing a different suit every time. You got the velvet, you got the, or when the money gets up, you're going to start getting fly one time only outfits. How we doing?
No, I have a great relationship. I do. I have a great company in Toronto called Copley. It's a suit manufacturer in Canada. They've been providing me my suits for a long time, prior to my days at Top Rank. But again, I like to let the voice and the work do the talking. I'll push it a little bit. Like every now and then you'll see me with a nice stripe or a check suit on, but nothing too crazy. I love my suits. They're all custom. They do a good job for me. And again, the camera's only on me for a few seconds. So as long as I'm feeling good and I'm making the fighters feel like they're getting ready to go in there and battle, that's all I really care about. I know boxing fans love their fashion. Don't get me wrong. We see it ringside, fans come in and they are looking sharp and special. The key word there is special, because sometimes it's miss, but it's special. So I know boxing fans love their fashion. I'm a classic guy. If you notice the last little while, I'm almost Johnny Cash-esque. I'm wearing all black. I don't usually wear a tie. It's not my thing. Sometimes I'll put on a tie if it's warranted, but I try to do justice for the sport and just represent the sport more than myself. It's a moment that is truly for the fighters. I can't stress it enough. It's really not about me. And sometimes I feel if I'm wearing a bright pink jacket, that makes it about me and not the two guys that are in there risking their lives. So I like to keep
we will be talking about you. We'll be like, you should be motherfucking got on tonight, bro.
If you're talking about me, you're talking about me for the right reasons, not because of what I was wearing, or the wrong reasons for that matter. So maybe somebody doesn't like what I'm doing and that's why they're talking about me, but you're never going to talk about me because of my jackets. We'll leave that to the guys who've been doing it a long time. They look like $1 million when they walk in those rings with their outfits on, and it's just never been my thing. So
we're going to check back in about 10, 15 years and get a couple of M's from this to see what you're wearing. But
you can hold me to this.
Speaking of other announcers,
one more. I gotta get Leon on.
Okay, I know you signed the Top Rank, right? And that's who your loyalty to. Do you talk to other announcers from other companies to get advice, being that you are young in this space?
Yeah, 100%. I was just David Diamante was just at our Top Rank fight at the Garden, and we were able to hang out ringside. And he gave me a big wave, so I brought him down. We were sitting together, and there's just a mutual respect for everybody in the game. There really is. There isn't any animosity or bad blood. Everybody's so unique, at least in my opinion. I'm not trying to be Buffer or David or Lupe or any of these guys or Jimmy Lennon. They're all incredible at what they do. And, like I said, I'm just blessed to be able to work in the game and, bring what I bring. And, I'm not trying to be anybody else. They're not trying to be me. We are who we are. And I think that's important for anybody who wants to do this. A lot of times you see guys imitating or trying to be like somebody else. And my advice to anybody who wants to be a host in sports or a ring announcer or an analyst or anything is just be you, because the reason people will listen to you or follow your show is because of you. Like we love watching Max Kellerman because it's Max Kellerman. We love watching Stephen A because it's Stephen A. They're not trying to be each other. It just be you. Your favorite sports anchors and hosts are personalities themselves, and that's half the reason why you tune in. And I love the sport of boxing, and I have, like I said, I have so much to learn. But I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm just honored to be a part of such a great group of folks at Top Rank, and I'm spoiled for this opportunity. And even just coming on shows like this with you guys, man, this is a treat for me, and it just shows you how special the sport is, and we have some of the best fans in the game, in the business. So thanks.
I got one last question, Kyle, and I'm out of here.
Man, the last one was the last one.
It's important. It's important because I'm going to the fight. All right. He said he wants to make the fight feel like an event, and I feel the energy through the TV, right? But when are y'all gonna get a different playlist? Because I can't listen to X gonna give it to you for 3 hours, bro, in between fights. We need another song.
All right. You need to put that on Twitter and tag me, and I'll make sure our music department gets a retweet.
Please. Thank you.
That's the best I can do.
I'll let you later, Kyle.
Thank you, man.
All right, we got Las Vegas Leon on.
What's up?
Yo, Mark, what's up, bro? Kyle, what's good with you?
What's going on, man?
Man, shit, you know me, man. At Top Rank now, I was just trying to see, did he know my boy Frank here, bro?
Tell Frank to take those pants off. They are absolutely brutal. Oh, they're shorts even.
The shorts.
Come on. Hey, let me just say this. If you haven't been to the Top Rank gym lately, you got to pop in, because what Frank has done over there, unbelievable. The Top Rank gym is like the spot in Vegas right now. And like I said, he let me come in and watch Haney spar. And, I'm like a fly on the wall kid in a candy shop over there. It is the best spot. And Frank, he's the man.
That Mark, always the consummate pitch man. Love you, bro. Great job this weekend, as always. Mark Shunock, the most talented man all around in Las Vegas, hands down.
Nah, it's a team, man. Team effort. And
hands down.
Hands down, damn it.
Nothing to do. I guarantee you. And I messed myself up because I'm thinking someone will ask me, hey, Frank, you know who does this in town or who's got this? And then now I'm not stupid anymore. I always think Mark. Mark have it or can't do it. He's got somebody that can. I'm telling you, the most talented man all around. That's why professional sports in Las Vegas, around the world, they fuck with Mark Shunock because they fuck with the best.
Oh, I love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Absolutely.
And you know me, working out as usual.
Hey, Leon.
Quick tour. They never seen the Top Rank gym. You get to see it for the one time.
That is Frank's domain right there. Look at that. That is the mecca of training in Vegas.
Tell them, man. We here Monday through Friday like a regular job. And yeah, man. If you've never been here, you need to come down and get a seat.
You need to get Frank on social. Don't show up unannounced. He'll get security to bounce your ass.
So yeah, I just wanted to give him a quick tour, Mark, while you was on. I figured it'd be good to add in some more Top Rank, original stuff.
Yeah, that gym is insane, man. And when we got a marquee fight happening and the guys are there training in Vegas, it is command central, and that community in there is unreal.
You know who that is, Mark?
Hey,
How you doing? How are you?
good to see you, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Good. Nice to see you.
It's
So
been
yeah,
awesome.
man. And Mark,
This has been
first
really
I
great.
appreciate you coming on the show, man. You know, it's always good to hear from you and see you.
Yeah, no, wouldn't have missed it. Like I said, the time in New York was special. It was great running into you guys and catching up. And you know, thank you for all you do and your love of the sport, man. It's been great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, yeah, I'll have to catch you here next Monday, huh?
You got it.
All right, thanks again. Yeah, I'll see you August 13th too, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Leon, we'll get him out of here, man. It's past the hour point.
Thank you, guys. Listen, it's been awesome. Thanks for having me on, you guys. Been awesome.
Man, absolutely, man. I appreciate you for coming on the channel, man. I really, really appreciate you. Give us your social medias and anything
on all platforms. Twitter, Instagram. It's just my name right there. Mark Shunock, spelled out. Hit me up. And if you share this later on, just make sure you tag me. I'll make sure I share it and stuff like that.
Man, I got you, man. I really appreciate you. And before you go, give us the this is Top Rank.
Hey, this is boxing. This is Top Rank, and this was the boxing section.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Have a great day, rest of your day. Enjoy your time, man. And like I say, man, I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. We'll talk to you soon. See you at the fights.
I'll see you on the 13th.
You got it.
All right. Wrong one, my bad. All right, Mark. So, y'all know, man, it's always a true and players meet. Thank y'all for breaking bread with me. Another one for the boxing section, man. I appreciate everybody that came in here today. Show some love. Listen, we working. And I appreciate y'all, man. In the words of the great philosopher Lil E, I want y'all to breathe air and live life. You know it's always true and players meet. Thank y'all for breaking bread with me, man. We'll be back in a couple hours for another live stream. We got Willie Shaw coming in here, man. And we coming. We got to do it, man. It's got to happen. In the words of the great philosopher, Blue Blood Sports TV, the grind don't stop. And with that, man, we getting out of here. Make sure y'all come back through here later on, man. Hey, hit the make sure y'all hit that bell icon so y'all can get the notifications when we go live, because you never know who's coming in here, man. You never know. You never know. All right, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And we're gonna
Out the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it cheap. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.